Sylvain, nice to meet you.
Hi, Lorin, nice to meet you too.
Welcome to Romania.
Thank you very much.
Is this your first time?
It's actually my second time. I was in Romania once in 2011. Back then I was still working for the French loudspeaker company Cabas. And we were launching, just like we are launching a new product today, we were launching, I remember it was the Pacific Free SA speakers almost 14 years ago now.
Okay.
It's good to be back.
Can you tell me more a bit about the history of the company?
Yep.
Maybe our viewers don't know it well.
Well, the company is actually celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Roksan was founded in London in 1985. The company started initially with turntables, with a product that became legendary, the Xerxes turntable, that evolved over time in different generations. And fairly quickly, the founders also started developing electronics, amplifiers, CD players. And the company was acquired by Monitor Audio in 2016, which is actually when Monitor Audio became the Monitor Audio Group, with a second brand and now a third one. And since 2016, the company has moved to Rayleigh in Essex, that's east of London, where Monitor Audio is located. And Roksan, that used to be a staff of maybe 11 people, all of a sudden became 80 people with the entire strength of Monitor Audio in terms of R&D, marketing, development. And that has led to launching some new products today that benefit from industrial design, quality standards at a much higher level. So what we are aiming for now as the brand is to honor the heritage of Roksan, where the brand comes from, take it towards more modern products, but always by finding that balance, respecting the sound signature that was very much loved of Roksan, and adding new features like streaming capacities and much better tags and solutions that ensure the products works with all sorts of modern sources as well.
Right. So you mentioned that now Roksan is part of the Monitor Audio Group. Can you tell me how that happened?
So the Monitor Audio always wanted to diversify its activity into more products, and there are two ways to do that. Either you keep launching more products under the same brand, or you acquire more brands. And we decided to go for the second option because it's very hard for one brand to be seen as being good at everything. No brand can be good at everything. So if we wanted electronics, we had to acquire a brand that already had some know-how, some heritage, and that's why we decided that electronics are Roksan. We also have a block, our third range, which is hi-fi racks, and that allow us to keep each range being very focused with one for speakers, one for electronics, one for furniture, and we'll see what can happen in the future. I feel very grateful that Monitor Audio is a company that acquires other brands rather than be acquired. We see a lot of brands nowadays that belong to big corporations, and at Monitor Audio we're very proud of being independent. We are actually the largest independent British audio group. We've had the same owners for I think 28 years now, and that gives us a lot of flexibility in having our own style, our own values in the way we develop products, the way we do business, and that applies now not just to Monitor Audio but to Roksan as well.
Roksan's lineup is split into two. Can you tell me more about them, their philosophy, and how they are made?
So Roksan is now completing a bit of a transition phase. In the last 2 to 3 years, we have discontinued all the legacy lines that were part of Roksan when we acquired it. And in 2021, we launched the very first new Roksan product as part of the Monitor Audio Group. That was the Atessa series, which for the first time introduced high-resolution streaming with Blu-ray support, with a lot of other features. And we are now taking that same philosophy to a much higher level with Caspian, which is a much more high-end sibling to Atessa. So right now, as you say, the brand is split in Caspian and Atessa. It's important to us to have a very clear structure in our ranges, just like we do with our speakers for Monitor Audio. We also want to ensure our ranges have consistency in terms of design, so that when you go into a store, you see that's a Roksan product. So you see a lot of similarities, and they're actually here on display next to you, between Caspian and Atessa. The same designers behind it. What we bring with Caspian is we scale everything up. We have a lot more technologies that were designed specifically in-house for that product. And that's only the beginning of the journey. That's concluding that transition. Now everything you see from Roksan on the market is recent, has those features, and those are the building bricks to going further in the future. So what's coming in the next years is further products as part of the Caspian range. Right now we have launched a streaming amplifier with low-S and an integrated amplifier, which is the same amplifier minus low-S and also HDMI input. And in the next few years we will launch a power amplifier, a preamplifier with streamer, a CD player. Some of those are still to be confirmed, but the idea is to expand on that range. And then in 2027 and beyond, we will add more ranges so that again we continue to build up. We prefer to take our time, launch very strong ranges that further establish the brand or grow the brand on some new markets. Like for example, in Romania, we are now working with AVstore, and we are pushing the brand much more actively now, and that will pay off over the next few years with further products coming on.
Can you tell me what is the development process and the assembly process of a Caspian product?
So one thing that I have to explain first is that every single employee at the Monitor Audio Group works on all the brands. So it means all the designers, and some of them have been with us for a long time, the acoustics engineer, the electronics engineer, all of a sudden that was a big team working on Caspian. When it comes to electronics, they are led by John Green, who has been with us for a few years now, who is the brain behind Caspian. And we are very proud of doing everything ourselves in our product, whether it's Roksan or Monitor Audio. Every component has been carefully selected and tailored and adjusted for that product. We don't just buy an off-the-shelf driver for speakers or a DAC for an amplifier. We buy components and then we rework them very specifically. All of that work is done in our headquarters in Raleigh, Essex in England, and there's a very close collaboration at every stage between the engineers and the designers, so that we never end up with, we draw a nice looking amplifier and then we try to put some technology in it. Everything has to blend together. Like for example, those heat sinks that you see on the side, they look spectacular, but they also here in service of the dual mono amplification and make sure we have efficient venting of the product. So we have what we call our creative studio in our office. That's a big open space where basically all the creative talents are gathered, the engineers, the designers, the marketing team, so that even the marketing is involved very early to understand the product, make sure they will tell the right stories about it. And in the case of Caspian, we go a little bit further in the sense that that product is hand-built in the UK. So in the Monitor Audio building, we specifically for Roksan, we have created a new assembly line, hired new staff. We brought it to a very high standard of quality so that we can have absolute control on what happens with that product. Every single component is selected by us, for us, all the way to the assembly, to the quality testing, so that we can really commit to delivering a product to the customer that fully converts the vision of our team into a product that performs and looks spectacular.
So considering the popularity of vinyl records today, can you tell me why maybe you stopped, maybe you didn't, I don't know, why aren't you coming up with new turntables, considering your history with turntables?
That's a very fair question, because yes, vinyl are more popular than ever and turntables are better than ever, and that's how we got started in 1995. We have discontinued all our turntable lines. It doesn't mean that we will no longer do turntable in the future. That door is still open, half open. It's mostly a matter of focusing our efforts. Like I said, we are an independent company, which means we have to focus our resources. And we felt it was better to launch only 2 products and do it well, rather than launch 2 products and at the same time a turntable and maybe other products. So right now the focus is on building the electronics ranges, and then we will see where that takes us in the future. I'm not saying we will definitely have turntable, but we review our roadmap every year as part of the management team of the Monitor Audio Group, and we always want to keep an open mind and be able to adjust to both where the market is going and where we want to go as a company.
Okay, so there's a chance.
maybe in a few years I will be sitting here and we'll discuss some new products.
Okay. So you already started mentioning some new products, but can you share a little bit more about your future plans?
For Roksan, the immediate future is the Caspian series. Caspian is a strong name. That's actually the 4th generation of Caspian. The previous one was a bit of an aging product. It had been around for about 10 years, but it was a very popular product. So that's why we know that Caspian name is strong. We wanted to honor it. And later this year, maybe beginning of next year, we will have a power amplifier and a streaming and preamplifier with streaming on board. Then we'll have a CD player. In terms of hardware, those products are almost ready, but we have a lot of work on the software because all our products at Atessa, Caspian, and some monitor audio products use our setup app, which we call Maestro Unite. And that setup app gives you access to a lot of settings, but they also allow you to create a system with your products to tell your amplifier that you're using that CD player so that they turn on together. So that was a start with the CD transport, but for example, when we will have a power amplifier, you will be able to set up how you use that power amplifier with the streaming amp or with the preamp. Are you doing by amplification? Are you doing by wiring? You will be able to inform your system on what you're doing. You will be able to decide how the volume is being displayed on your power amp depending on your taste. And again, being a small and independent group, we have a small software department and we want to give them time to do things well. That's why again we staged the Caspian launch with 2 products and then 2 and also because we would like to be launching at least 1 new product every year so that we keep that momentum and we keep that excitement around the range. So yeah, that will keep us busy for I think the next 2 to 3 years, and then what's coming beyond that is still being planned and discussed, and it's a bit too early to say.
Okay. Sylvain, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nice meeting you.
Yep.